Hey, hello there. Welcome. I'm just quickly getting another phone so I can look at the comments. Alright, so I was planning in this live stream uh, to draw this head of the Suchomimus, and I don't know how long it's gonna take, but yeah. What I first wanted to do, I wanted to show you guys something, which is my improvement of the past few years. So basically, these are most of my YouTube drawings over here. And then these are a lot of my more early YouTube drawings slash just drawings that I didn't do for YouTube. I do dino drawings as well in my speed drawings. Nowhere near as good as yours, however. Well, thank you. I think over time, if you practice enough, you'll eventually get better. That's at least my opinion. Okay, so we're just gonna go through these. I just want to try and find the ones that I actually have a second version of, so I can compare them to each other. So I don't have a second version of this one, so I'll put that one in the box. I do have a second version of this one, so I'll keep this one over here. Don't have any second version of this one. I do have one of this one. I don't think I have a second version of this one. Alright, I'll just quickly go through it. And I'll see. Well, I do have a second version of the raptor. It's not exactly the Utahraptor, I think. Well, it is. Yeah, it is. I do have another drawing of the Spinosaurus. I don't have any other drawings of the Megalodon. Also not of the Baryonyx. I don't think I have. Yeah, I do. I do have a couple of drawings of this one. All right. Nope. Nope. Interesting. What do you mean interesting? You mean like the drawings? Wait, I think I do have a T-Rex head. Indoraptor. Don't have a second version of that one. Yeah, well, thank you. maybe this is also good. There are not a lot of people watching right now. I think that might be because of um, the time that I'm choosing this to stream, because it's 2 at night for me. So I don't know what time it is for you guys, but it's pretty late for me. I just figured that um, it's probably gonna be that a lot of people around the world will uh, maybe watch, and maybe it's early for them. I don't know. Wait, I didn't pay attention. Yeah, so I don't have a second version of that one. I just put those in. I have a second version of the eye if I can find it. Well, this is actually the sketch and the tutorial drawing, so I can put those aside, both of them. I do have a second version of this one, and that's gonna be very interesting. Um, I think I also have a raptor, but I'm not sure. Um, when you're going for outside of Jurassic Park, I'd recommend not falling in the curse of the shrink wrapped. What do you mean? I think I have one of this. These. I have one of those. Don't have another one of the Indoraptor head. I do think I did one of the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptor. I don't have a second one of the Albertosaurus. And I don't have any more Allosauruses, I think. I have a second version of the Mosasaurus. Well, actually, this is the second version. I don't have a second one of these. Those are the same things. The Stegosaurus. I didn't actually did a tutorial about this one, this particular one. I mean, I don't have it in any videos because I drew this one off camera, and it really took me a long time to get all the details in and stuff. And I did, yeah, I do have a shorter version of that, so it's basically the same but with less detail. I do have a tutorial on this one, so if you're watching and you are interested, be sure to check this one out, because I'm really proud of this one. I think I do have a Stegosaurus. My early drawings. I'm sorry guys, this is taking a long time before I'm starting the drawings. I mean the actual drawing, but I think it will be interesting to compare them to each other. When say the skull is too visible from the outside of the skin, it's fine though for Jurassic Park dinos, since that's how they are. Oh, hello, Olivated. Yeah, I do know about that. Um, I think I know what you mean. You mean like this area, these holes in the skulls, they aren't supposed to be visible, right? I do know about that, but I just think it kind of gives it a more detailed look. I mean, it's less accurate, I know that, but at the same time, if you don't put those in, the head just looks a little bit pale, and it doesn't really, um, well, you can make it work, but I like it better when the holes are visible more. All right, another Spinosaurus. So I have one accurate Spinosaurus. So I'm putting this one aside, and this was actually a sketch for the tutorial version. I don't have a second one of this, and I also don't have one of this. I don't think I have a second Compsognathus. the Carcharodontosaurus. I don't have the precise Carcharodontosaurus, but I do have something that looks like it, and another one of the T-Rexes, which for some reason I couldn't get the T-Rex head right. Oh, sorry. Elevated, I can't watch right now because I'm streaming with the same phone that I'm using to watch on the app. Alright, so the problem with this drawing, in my opinion at least, I'm not sure if it's focusing correctly. Well, the problem with this drawing is that the head is a little bit too small for his body. For some reason, I couldn't get that right for quite some time, but I believe that I got over that problem pretty fast. So I don't think I have a yeah, I do have a second drawing of the Ankylosaurus. This was actually the Crash McCreary Ankylosaurus model sketch kind of thing that they used. And I believe it's pretty accurate to what it's supposed to look in the sketch, the original drawing. I don't have a second one of this. Let's see, another Allosaurus. Can't be sure. The baby T-Rex. Alright, so this was a more recent drawing, and I'm getting better and better at the proportions of the T-Rex head and stuff, but I don't like the pose that it's in. It's really unnatural, in my opinion. So I'm gonna lay that aside. This is another sketch, and the Dilophosaurus head. Another one. So I believe this one was the one that I used for the tutorial, and this was actually the sketch. And this is another raptor. It was the Velociraptor for the Jurassic Park 1 movie. Yeah, I'm streaming on my phone. So I think I'm gonna lay that aside. The Indoraptor and another Indoraptor drawing. Carnotaurus. I don't have another Carnotaurus, so right, that's about it. I'm really sorry guys, it's taking a long time, but I assure you it will be kind of worth it. Alright, so now this is the raptor from, well, it was a very recent drawing of mine. So now I'm gonna look at a different raptor that I drew. Alright, so this is kind of something that I drew. It is a Utahraptor, I believe, so it's not a Velociraptor, but they do have a little bit of similarities. So, yeah. I'm not sure about the quality that my camera is recording at, but I'm trying to get it. Let's see in the... I actually have a second phone that I'm using to look at the chat and stuff. Let's see how the quality works out. Alright, so let's move on. I don't want to mix them together though. Alright, this is yeah, this is really messy for me. I was actually about to ask about a Utahraptor, ironically. Alright, what were you about to ask about the Utahraptor? I'm trying to find the right drawings. Probably should have done this off camera, to be honest. Yeah, alright. So these are actually also YouTube drawings, I think. So I'm not gonna use these. Oh no, there are a couple of them that are older. I don't think I have a T-Rex face, which is kind of a shame. Alright, yeah. Alright, so I was gonna show you guys this one. So this is a Spinosaurus that I drew quite some. It was in 2014. Just if you thought of drawing it or not, but that already answered the question. Yeah, I already did a tutorial for the Utahraptor. It wasn't too long ago. I think it was like maybe a month ago, maybe even less than a month ago. I'm not sure. But all right. Yeah, so this was a Spinosaurus that I drew in 2014, and around this time I wasn't really too good at drawing feet or hands, and also the proportions were most of the time off. But this time I think this time I actually nailed it, because I think this is a great drawing of a Spinosaurus. I mean, the detail on it is pretty impressive for so early on. This was also a Spinosaurus, and it is also somewhere on this channel. Yeah, that's actually something that I was trying to go for, the crocodilian-like armor, especially on his back. And I am pretty proud of it, to be honest. I mean, it's 2014, so it's quite a while back. And then this was another drawing of the Spinosaurus that I did. So one of the issues that I had around this time was I didn't know how to get the details in, and how to well, how to explain it the best way. I don't know, but for example, this was the only way that I knew of, only just drawing rounded scales, and that's it. This was actually literally the only thing that I knew. I didn't know where the muscles went, had to go and stuff. I didn't know how to kind of work with shadows and stuff. I knew that the shadow would be on the bottom side of the dinosaur, and that's it. So that's exactly what you're seeing here. I was actually trying to learn about how to use shadows and stuff, and this is kind of how it turned out. So now I'm gonna try to get my Spinosaurus drawing out here, my most recent Spinosaurus drawing, if I can find it. Let's see. Okay. Let's try and find it, because it... Alright, so this is the more accurate Spinosaurus. I'm gonna try to go for the Jurassic Park style kind of Spinosaurus. It's supposed to be somewhere all the way around here. Yeah, here it is. So, as you can see, the difference is quite visibly there, in my opinion. I mean, this is the Jurassic Park Spinosaurus, the recent Spinosaurus that I did, and this is the Spinosaurus from quite some time back, and you can even see the lines which I tried to erase, but at that time I pressed down too hard on my pencil with only the sketch and stuff, and this is kind of the penalty that I got for it. But yeah, for example, the skin rimples and the muscles over here and there. I didn't know how to put those muscles in and how to make it look actually good. All right, so now the raptor, and I don't know where I have a raptor face. I think I have one. Just a moment. Okay, so this was also a drawing from quite some while ago. Oh, have you thought of drawing Sigelmasaurus? Sigelmasasaurus. Um, I don't know. I basically what I do is I get a lot of requests, and what I try to do is I write most of them down. There are some times that I forget to write the requests down, and I forget the names of the ones requesting the dinosaurs, and that way I can't give them a shout out about who requested it. But most of the times I just draw what is in that list of requests. So if you want me to draw it, just just I think it's best to comment it below one of my recent tutorials so that I can go back and actually read the comment and write it down. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm gonna forget it. So yeah, but this was a raptor head, and I believe it was also in 2015 or 2014. I am not sure about the date, but basically the same issue again. I didn't know how to put the detail in. I didn't know how to go with the pattern of the scales and stuff. I just drew them in randomly, and I tried to follow some lines, but it didn't always work out. So this is actually the end result. And this is also around this time I never used any reference photos. And then I drew this one uh, pretty recently. I believe it was in 2018 still, so late 2018. And yeah, I'm a lot more confident with drawing the details and the lines, and I mean the wrinkles and the indentations everywhere. Um, in my opinion, it looks a lot better, so that's pretty good improvement. All right, so for this one, I do have another version, and my camera won't focus. All right, so I'll have to look for it. I have it in this uh, little map. So actually, this is a Indominus Rex. This is my first, I believe this is my first tutorial I ever did on YouTube. And in my opinion, this is not a very good drawing, but for that time I was pretty proud of it. So yeah. Okay, let's find it. This was, by the way, also one of my hybrids that I did. I don't know about what hybrid. I mean, it was a subscriber special, but I can't remember how many subscribers. I believe this was because I hit 100 subscribers. So yeah. Okay, I was just wondering. We don't have a clear image of Sigil Massasaurus anyway. Well, I guess I can try to draw it, and um, make a tutorial version of it, but I do have to pay it. I mean, I have a lot of requests on the list, so there are probably a lot of people that are waiting for their requests to be drawn, and they are probably waiting for a very long time already. So I I wanna try to do a request first for someone that has been waiting for quite some time. Okay, trying to find it, but I can't really find it this quickly. Oh, this was also a Jurassic Park Spinosaurus drawing. I did a speed drawing about this one, and around this time, I think I used the wrong pencil because, as you can see, it's very unclear and it's a little bit like it's foggy, so it's hard to see in the video. Um, oh wait, I have an Ankylosaurus right here, but yeah. I mean, all we know is it being a Spinosaurid consisting of nothing but neck vertebrae, so I don't want to pressure you into doing anything. No, I think it would be a challenge for sure to try and draw it. I can try it, um, but I don't know when. That's the only issue. I don't know when. Okay, so basically I have to look look it up in these kind of pages. All right, so let's see what we. All right, we're looking for the Postosuchus. So these are also these are some of my most early drawings. And for example, this drawing is pretty detailed and everything. I mean, the background and everything, but the dinosaur just it doesn't look right. It's just messy and everything. I mean, the head looks cool, but everything else apart from the head is terrible, in my opinion. This was the Albertosaurus. I can see it down here. It was drawn in 2012. Okay, that's a long time ago. I think I was still in school while I drew this. Ah, there it is. So this is the Postosuchus that I drew in 2013, and this is the Postosuchus that I drew in 2018, late 2018. So, well, this one looks darker and everything, and the muscles look more pronounced, and it isn't more detailed, but you might say that this one looks better. But keep this into consideration when I tell you that this one took me about 5 hours to draw around that time, and this one only took me like, well, let's say 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes, I think. So yeah, I believe that's improvement, at least. All right, so now for the dinosaur eye. Well, actually, I should ask you guys about this. Do you actually want to see the improvement of all the drawings that I have left here, which are quite a few? I think there are like 8 or 10. Um, Maybe, yeah, there are like 6 drawings left. So do you want to see those drawings compared to other drawings, or do you want to see me draw something? Because yeah, this is basically, I'm streaming for like half an hour right now, and I basically didn't show anything. Yeah, I thought the background was nice as well, but it was like I mean, the drawing, the dinosaur, the main thing that I wanted to draw was, well, was kind of ruined because of my knowledge about how to draw it. And the reason why my drawings are getting better lately is not because my drawing skill is so much better, but it is because my knowledge about how to draw things are getting better and better. But yeah, uh, do you want to see me draw, or yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna draw. Oh, okay. So I have to kind of clean this up a little bit. I'll put everything back in this. Right, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay. I'm just putting all of the drawings back in the box. Okay. What do you mean, what happened to the chat? I'm back, by the way. So yeah, we're gonna try to draw this one over here. Okay. So that's gonna be my reference as well. Yeah, there are not a lot of people saying something in the chat. I guess you are the only one for now. And the other few people that were talking Dutch in the chat were friends of mine, and they just decided to take a look at the stream. So yeah, alright. Let's get into the drawing now. So I want to start with a circle. Oh, so you are still there. Yeah, we're gonna start with a circle. And then we want to draw a line on top for the area where the there's like a very pronounced ridge over there. And then I'm gonna see how long I want his snout to be. And there's gonna be a circle over there. And then this kind of goes like this. And then he has a shape like this, going this way. And then it basically goes like this. Alright. Oh, hello Bendan. Welcome to the stream. So right now, and there's Victor Miranda. Hi. Hi. Alright. So this area goes like this. And then we have his bottom jaw that kind of goes like this from over here. Curved down a little bit. And then going straight again over there. And then this area kind of, well, let's first go to this part in his mouth. I'm still not sure what this is called. Does anyone watching the stream right now know what this is called? Because I really don't know. And I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm already smearing on my drawing. And also the stream quality seems to be very low for some reason. Let's see, do I know how to, how can I get it higher? I don't know. But yeah. And I want his jaw to be opened a little bit more like this. And then, no, it's still too, I want it to be open more, even more. More like this maybe. That looks a little bit more right to me. Alright, and then we have this area of his jaw, and immediately we have this thing on the other side. And I guess that this eyebrow is supposed to be a little bit more back. And right now it might look very messy and everything, but I am sure that eventually it will start to look more and more like what it's supposed to look like. And I'm actually not used to drawing in this scale, so that might also be something that is ruining it a little bit. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna erase those eyebrows, and I think I'm gonna move them a little bit more like so, and like so. And then he has a area like this, and then his eye would be about over here somewhere. And his lower jaw might be a little bit too, let's see, I don't like the way his lower jaw looks, so I'm gonna erase again. I'm sorry for the fact that I keep erasing everything. Normally I wouldn't do this, but that's just because I'm using a crappy reference and I am not used to drawing in this scale. So let's put his lower jaw like this and end it over here. maybe make it more like this, and then this area should be a little bit like this. So I guess you could say that this is the basic of it. And then his neck would be going like this. And the bottom area of his neck would be going like this. Alright, so now for the area where his eye should be located, and I'm gonna make this a little bit more pronounced as well. And over here should be his nose. And his eye, where should I put his eye? I think his eye would be located around somewhere over here. So let's draw it in like this. And get a pupil in there and make it look like it's looking directly at us, and put a little bit of shadow inside of his eye as well. Make sure to leave some highlights here and there. I think you didn't miss too much. My sketches might actually look very messy to all of you, because my sketches are very, I'm just a very messy sketcher. Okay, so his tongue would be still visible somewhere over here, and it would actually go for like until over there. Maybe a little bit more in the middle of his. And we do have a little bit of the shadow of the tongue there. And this is gonna be completely darkened later on. And let's see, what else can we still put in there? His teeth, of course, but I'm gonna put his teeth in with the finer mechanical pencil. Alright, so we do have a lot of shadows going on over here, and his ear should be about over there. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to a finer tip mechanical pencil. Alright, so now I'm gonna go over the basic lines that I already got in there. And I'm not taking my time drawing this. I'm just really rushing it a little bit, because I know that if I take too much time, I would still be drawing when it's morning, let's say it like that, when it's turning day already. Alright. So this is basically the way I usually do the tutorial videos. I draw in the sketch, and if the sketch is done, I basically go over it with a darker pencil or just press down harder with the pencil that I'm already using. So in this area I don't want to go too much over it because I still need to put in the teeth. And the teeth are getting quite big over here in this area, so I'm just quickly going to put those teeth in like that. And then they are kind of getting smaller and smaller. And you can still kind of see a couple of them from behind the tongue. Not putting too much detail in his teeth. Not yet, at least. Alright, so at this point I'm thinking that I might have actually put his eye too far back, but it's questionable, I guess. And I might actually draw a couple of scales over here, just to kind of make it look a little bit cooler. And let's go to his bottom jaw. Alright. Get this area in a little bit darker as well. And also this thing over here. Alright, so let's see, let's get a few spikes on his neck. But I don't want to go too overboard with it. Something like this. And then let's go over the lines of the neck as well. And also the reason why I'm trying to draw it a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, is because I don't know how much battery my phone still has left. So I still have the limitations of time. And also I'm not planning to stream for like 3 hours straight. Okay. So now that we have all the basic lines are there and they are darkened as well. So now it is time to put in some shadow and detail. So first I need to get the muscles in. Let's see if I have no, I don't. So yeah, I just have to remember what I did in the last video. So there's a muscle right here, and then it kind of goes like this. This is a very long muscle. then he has a muscle that goes like this, basically. And I believe he also has a muscle going like this. So what we are gonna do now is draw in the shadow for those muscles. So first I want to know where the sun is where the sun is actually coming from. So the sun is coming from directly above the dinosaur. So that means that everything underneath the dinosaur is going to be very dark. And then over here it gets lighter and lighter, but we still need to put in the shadows between those muscle groups. So I'm gonna, let's see, how can I do this correctly? So over here it's gonna be very dark. Well, let's see, let's say over from this area until this area it's gonna be very dark. So this is gonna be extremely dark, and I'm gonna try and actually get the right amount of shadow in, but make sure you do keep your highlights, because if you don't keep your highlights you won't see the detail of the muscles. And it is pretty hard, well, not hard, it's time consuming to try to do this with a mechanical pencil, because it literally just takes a lot longer. And over here as well. Let's see. Alright, so this is basically the underside of the muscle, which will be a lot darker than everything else. And also over here as well. And I imagine that my camera is shaking a lot, so that makes it harder to actually see a lot of the progress in better detail. So I'm trying not to shake my hand too much. I'm trying not to shake the camera too much. And so basically that's kind of the effect that you will get. And in the dark areas you should really get it really dark and not leave too many highlights. Well, you should leave a lot of highlights, but not leave the highlights too white. It's getting really quiet in the chat, by the way. So this area you could leave it very white, but at the same time you should give it the right amount of shade. Jinji. Hi. Well, hi. I'm sorry about the me pronouncing a lot of names wrong, because some names are just too hard to pronounce, too hard to say. So, oh wait, this was the line for the shadow, right? I forgot about that. I was about to basically make a different muscle. So that is kind of a shame. I might have messed it up a little bit there. Should have paid a little bit more attention. Sorry guys. Alright, so the problem with erasing is that you will actually create an area on the paper which is damaged a little bit, and that makes the drawing, a couple of lines will look darker than intended, and it will be a lot more messy, I guess. So yeah, this area is very dark right now, which was intended. And normally, when you're going for a lot more detail, you would leave this a little bit lighter and then put the scales in, which make it look a lot darker. Alright, and now this area is also gonna have a lot of darkness, but I'll have to look at which area will be very dark and which area will be very light again. And this way the muscles are really going to stand out. A lot more than usual. So there are 5 people watching right now, which is, well, considering it's late at night, it's pretty decent, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a huge YouTuber or anything, or streamer, so I didn't really expect too many people to watch. But last time when I started streaming, I actually got like 15 people watching, so that was pretty awesome. That much people watching. So the higher you go up on his neck, the lighter everything will get. But still, when you get to a different muscle, it all starts over again. You get a little bit of shadow, but a lot lighter than on the underside of the dinosaur. So later I can go over it with like a couple of stripes. I think I'm gonna do that. Might look pretty cool. So yeah, it's not too detailed or anything, it's just a basic muscle thing going on there. Alright, so now for around his eye, I wanna have a area like this, and I'm gonna darken this area quite a bit, but also I do wanna leave a small area highlighted. And I want to get a little bit of shadow over there. So I think there's basically a very big muscle over here. So again, the sun is coming from over here, so this area would actually be shadowed. And then it kind of fades into the light a little bit. Something a little bit like that. And this is actually a little bit rounded, so I do want to have a little bit of shadow over here, but I do want to keep this area as a highlight. And I do have a chance to get a little bit of detail in there, so I'm gonna try to get a little bit of a few strange shapes and lines that will kind of look a little bit like detail. Something like this. And also over here, same story, but this shadow will actually go a little bit more inward. Alright, and maybe I can make this shadow just a tiny little bit darker. Not too much, but just a little bit darker. And there are 3 people watching right now. I guess a couple of people didn't want to sit and wait around for the drawing to be finished, which is understandable, of course. Let's see, I want to get a little bit of shadow over here. Over there as well. Just a little bit, so that I can draw a line like this to kind of get the idea of where the center of his head is. Okay. Let's see. So the shadow around his eye should also just be a lot of shadow on top. But then there is supposed to be like a highlight for where the eye is, because the sun is shining through his eye, which is actually going through and landing on this area. And you can kind of draw a couple of lines there, as long as you make the surrounding area a little bit darker. And I can draw a couple of scales over here as well. But I don't want to make that area too dark. Maybe I can put a few scales in his eyebrow area. And a couple of them over here as well, but there is a little bit, well, this is actually a kind of rich, leaving a little bit of a highlight there. And then the surrounding area will be darker. If you are still there, thanks for watching until this point, because I'm already streaming for 1 hour, so I can expect for people not to have that much time to watch an entire stream, which will take for like 2 hours or so. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is not gonna take 2 hours. At least I hope so. Well, I guess also this drawing didn't take me 1 entire hour, because most of the time in the stream I used for showing all the drawings and stuff. So I do want to have a little bit of shadow over here. Just a little bit. And I want to have a highlight over here. This will kind of be his cheek. And then everything over here will be a lot lighter. And then you can just try and fade everything into the drawing. Fade the darkness into the white areas, into the lighter areas, so that it gives it a little bit of a better look. And by the way, I still have to draw in the teeth on his upper jaw. Basically putting down a couple of scales at some certain points. Some scales will be bigger than others. And I'm gonna build up a couple of scales from this huge one in the middle over here. And then kind of get those random things in. And just get a couple of scales at some random places, random spots. And sometimes I just put in a very dark dot. So yeah, that's something that you can do. Going to sleep. Bye. Have a good day and good luck. Well, goodbye, good night, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it that you stayed for this long. So yeah, thanks for watching and good night. So basically I'm just putting those things everywhere. Yeah, that's alright. It's totally fine. I'm just gonna finish this drawing and yeah, then I'm gonna end the stream as well. And this will be still watchable for you guys if you want to draw it. I mean, I'm making it like a tutorial version, so you can still watch it if you have the time. And let's see. Yeah, my phone is at 39% of battery power, so I have to be quick a little bit. So I'm just gonna try to get a little bit of detail in at some random places. So at this area I didn't put any scales in, but instead I just put in a couple of lines which make it look like his jaw is kind of has a lot of what's it called, a lot of bumps on it and stuff for the teeth, for example. Maybe his teeth would be in here. I don't know why, but the stream quality is a little bit lower than my recording quality when I just record my videos, which is pretty strange. On top of his head I'm just making like a armory kind of look. And over here it gets more like this. And you can put a little bit of detail in there as well, but I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the detail on top of his snout. And maybe a couple of more scales around this area as well. And his nostril. I'm trying to get a effect almost like dried skin. Don't know if you've ever seen dried out skin, but or maybe dried mud. You get a lot of tears and everything when you have, like, for example, dry skin or mud. That's the kind of effect that I'm going for, especially around his mouth area. So just trying to get a couple of scales for his snout, going from his nose a little bit crocodilian. It looks a little bit crocodilian, but don't go too dark because it's still supposed to be a highlight, so you shouldn't put in too much dark lines. Yeah, so something like this. Don't go too much overboard with it. And yeah, let's move on to his, well, let's actually first erase this because this looks terrible. That looks a lot better. It just looked a little bit too messy over there. And we can move on to his neck and kind of do the effect, but we're gonna do that later. First we have to go to his bottom jaw and try and get a little bit of detail. Well, no, let's first get his teeth in. Oh, my eraser. I'm getting some dirty lines because my eraser is not working. Oh, that's a shame. That happens sometimes, that your eraser holds too much lead and then when you try to erase, you draw a line with your eraser. So be aware of those things. Okay, so his teeth on his upper jaw start over here, and they get kind of bigger and bigger. And over here they stay the same size, and then they get a little bit smaller. They kind of stop at this area and they go on over here. And they get smaller and smaller until they totally disappear. A little bit like this. Okay. So now we can actually move on to his lower jaw. So I believe there's a huge muscle over here, which we want to draw in. This is a very, very big muscle. So that's what we're first going to do. Get the right amount of shadow for this muscle over here. Something like this. And then it just gets lighter and lighter. And we do have a little bit of shadow over here as well. And his muscle is very big and rounded, so you kind of see a effect like this. And a little bit of shadow between the muscle and the rest of his jaw. And then of course this muscle is covering a lot of his lower jaw on the lower this area underneath the muscle. So make sure you keep your highlights. They need to be visible, and then just continue on drawing the shadow on the underside of his lower jaw. And there is a little bit more shadow over here than at the surrounding areas of his lower jaw. Make sure you have that highlight over there. So that's basically the right amount of shadow over there. And make sure you try and fade the shadow into in with the light so it looks right. I do want to keep the drawing on camera. Okay, so that looks about fine. I can still add a little bit of detail at some places. For example, again, those lines, as if his skin is kind of teared a little bit on his jaw. Just a couple of tears. And you can go from here to like extend it out a little bit at some areas. Alright, something like this. And let's go to the inside of his mouth and this area is supposed to be very dark. Probably the darkest area of the whole drawing. I'm kind of wondering what happened to Jackson Draws. If you don't know Jackson Draws, go check out his channel. He is a very talented uh, young drawer, and I think he had some technical issues with his phone, so he wasn't really able to record more videos, and he had to pause for a while. I don't know if he completely stopped with doing YouTube videos, but at least he stopped for a while because he couldn't draw anymore. He couldn't record anymore. Sorry, and I haven't seen him since in any comments or any live streams. I mean, the other day I was watching the stream of Beanie Draws, and normally when Beanie Draws is streaming, Jackson Draws will be watching. But I don't know what happened. I don't know where he went. I hope he's okay. I hope he comes back soon because like I said, he was really talented. Oh, I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. But yeah, he had potential to become very good and to become big as well on YouTube, maybe. Well, not big like millions of subscribers. I mean, I really hope he does get millions of subscribers, but I don't think the drawing community is that big. But I believe he has potential. So I hope he comes back soon. Okay. So now this area, and I'm gonna draw it just with a lot of lines, very dark lines, very close to each other. Kind of make it dark on the top area of this thing, and then make it look like there is a highlight going on, like that. Okay, so now we are at the neck area, because the head looks very detailed. Now we still need to put a lot of detail in his neck. And by the way, I really love to draw in this pose. I mean, I started drawing in this pose a couple of days ago, and I really love the way that it looks and the way that it's more three-dimensional. So I'm gonna try to use this more often. Okay, so what I'm basically gonna do, I'm gonna draw a couple of dark lines like this. And we will see how it will look afterward, and if we still need to put a little bit more details in it. I think we might have to put a bit more detail in it, but we will see how it will turn out. And there are gonna be a lot of wrinkles here, this area. So yeah, I still need to put in a couple of details over here because it still doesn't look completed. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And I could also draw in the shadow a little bit better as well. It doesn't really look naturally. And by the way, today someone told me that my drawing skills are good because I use a mechanical pencil, but I don't believe using a mechanical pencil has anything to do with being good at drawing. So if you think that the mechanical pencil will improve your art, you're probably wrong. So don't buy a mechanical pencil thinking that it's the best way to improve your drawings, because when I started using the mechanical pencil, I was really bad at it and my drawings were really well, they didn't look any better than my drawings with a normal pencil. It's really just the fact that I kept on using it and kept on trying to improve with it, and that was the only reason why I started to get better at it, because the tip of the pencil is much finer and it's a lot harder to get the shadows in fluently because of the thin lines and stuff. At first you really have to get used to it at first. That's a fact. So I believe that this area is too white, so I'm just gonna go over it a little bit with well, trying to give it a bit of a darker tone, make it look like it's a little bit darker. Okay, and now I could go for a little bit of scales at some areas, and especially in the darker areas you could get a good couple of scales. Just shade in the underside of the scales, and I'm gonna try to give it a crocodilian kind of look like what I did on the snout. And only shadow in the underside of it. And the more you get to the darker areas, the darker those scales are going to get. But make sure you don't go too dark at the highlighted areas, like I just did while talking about it. That was not smart. But that's one thing about a mechanical pencil, it's not easy to put in the right amount of pressure, because if you accidentally put too much pressure in it, your lines will get extremely dark very fast. So that's one of the downsides of using the mechanical pencil. It's not, like I said, it's not, you don't instantly get better by using a mechanical pencil. That's literally just a fairy tale. I'm pretty curious about the fact if there are actually gonna be people that will be watching this stream once it is re-uploaded. Well, not re-uploaded, but once it is, once I'm going offline. So yeah, in the highlighted areas, I'm just trying to be really careful with putting down too much pressure on my pencil. I don't want to go too dark, and I'm not gonna pay too much attention to this area at all. It's starting to kind of get a very cool look. I especially want to put more detail at this area and over here as well, because this is going to be the area that most people will be looking at. So most of my drawings that I do on YouTube kind of look okay, but nothing out of the ordinary in my opinion. But I am capable of doing more advanced drawings and more fine drawings than what I'm presenting on YouTube, but that's the issue of not being able to do time-lapsed videos. So the only way for me to get better drawings is by putting more time into it, and more time means that I have to edit in order for you guys to be able to see like 2 hours in 10 minutes or so. And it's just really hard for me. I wouldn't say impossible, but at this point I'm almost about to say that it is impossible for me. So yeah, just again going with those crocodilian scales. And it's, like I said, it's starting to look quite nice. And at some areas just put in a couple of random scales, not paying too much attention to the pattern. All right. And I would say that this is a little bit too light still, so just gonna go over it a little bit and making it a little bit darker. And as well as the area of his iris, his pupil. Just making it slightly darker, a little bit. Just because of the fact that his nose is so dark and there are a lot of dark scales down there. That, yeah, so I have to make this a little bit darker as well. So before I'm going into the detail on his spikes, I'm gonna try to erase the random lines surrounding it, and over here as well. Okay, so now I can get a little bit of detail in those spikes. Just putting a little bit of shadow on one side and then leaving a major highlight. So it looks like the scales are very dark. I mean, not the scales, the spikes are very dark. And the drawing is finished. So yeah, it took me at least more than 1 hour to draw this, because I know that a lot of time of this stream went into showing you guys some old drawings. So let's get my autograph here. Whoa. It's great so far, but which dinosaur is it? It is the Suchomimus. It looks a lot like the Baryonyx, but I don't know. I don't really know about the difference between the Suchomimus and the Baryonyx. But I think the Suchomimus is a lot bigger than the Baryonyx. So I'm really not sure, but it is a Suchomimus. It is supposed to be a Suchomimus. I don't know if it looks like one. I hope it looks like one. And this was mostly drawn from one of my other drawings. It was not like really a reference, but it's supposed to look a little bit like this one. Yeah. So let's get the name of the dinosaur. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream about over here. if you liked this video, for the people that are, looks amazing. Well, thank you. I also do believe um, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, if you like the video, I mean, I'm talking about the people that are watching it offline. If you like the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a single video. So this was Dinosaur Drawer, and goodbye.